hand. Of course he's going to fold it. Just very, very happy to be conservative.
26.
Stan, who has an ace-7, is contemplating. He's a short stack. He's sort of desperate. Is this where he wants to make his stand? That's what he's thinking about right now. Or does he just want to let it go and see what happens? Save his money for a better spot later.
Stan likes to make his opponents sweat. Very methodical, sort of a controlling player.
If I didn't win that last pot, I would probably definitely call her.
Stan folds.
Stan thinks he had the best hand. He throws it away, though.
Oh, he's lucky because Mark has picked up a real hand, a pair of 5s, pretty good.
Well, here we go. Mark Safe has a pair of 5s, a speed limit.
Got a big hand? Got a pair?
He's trying to get him to talk.
No pair? Sounds like no pair.
Look at this stare down. The other two players down at the end of the table are enjoying this match here.
Did you hear what Mark said? He said, do you have a pair? He sounds like no pair. He's trying to get him to talk because he knows he has a pair. And if Hanley doesn't have a pair, he would be a huge favorite. He's thinking about going all in here.
I'm all in.
There you
Mark
go.
says he's going to go all in.
Now, Han Lee, it's only going to cost him another $25,000 to call, and there's about $85,000 out there.
I call.
He
He
calls.
has about 50.
Hanley's calling.
Hanley said call. Okay, Mark has 2
Here we go. We
5s.
got the 2 5s against the King 10.
King 10, kind of a loosey-goosey call by Hanley, huh?
The 2 5s are actually the favorite here, slightly favored. They're about a 52% favorite to win this pot.
Oh, man.
And the flop comes Jack 9 deuce. Now this gives Hanley a straight draw.
Inside straight draw. King
Along
for
with the King
Hanley.
with 10, and the King comes up. Look at Mark. He's got outdrawn again.
Oh.
And the 10 comes up. He got hit
He
twice.
didn't need it, but wow. Big outdraw for Hanley.
A good sport. Mark went over, congratulates him. He shakes everyone's hand.
His nemesis finally got him. Put the sword right through the heart.
Don't come over top, I call you.
Look at Hanley. Don't come over the top of me because I call.
These guys better not live next door to each other, I tell you.
Well, it only cost Hanley another $25,000 to call that bet, Vince, so he had to call that hand. He was getting 3-4 to 1 on his money. The other man was all in. Couldn't cost him that much more. He has to gamble it.
I got a kamikaze. You don't know who I am.
He's calling himself kamikaze.
Well, that hand he attacked with the King 10, I don't blame it. I don't blame Mark for going all in with the 2 5s. I don't see either one of them doing anything wrong in that pot.
He's a fearless player, though. You got to give him credit. He doesn't think about it. He just plays by his gut, and it's paying off tonight. Even at the end, Han Lee was saying, no one comes over the top, it's Han Lee, and he was doing that. You guys, are you friends? Do you know each other that well? Can he get away with this?
Well, there's a little history. Hun Lee and I both have a very aggressive style, as you can tell. We get into a lot of pots. We linger in pots. We make a lot of calls and stuff. So we're both problematic players, and we're very problematic for each other. A week ago, when I won the $300 multi-rebuy event, I got all my chips from Hun Lee. He was the chip leader by far, and it just was a different day, different outcome then. Today's his day. He's in very good shape.
3 players left at the Legends of Poker on the World Poker Tour.
Mark Safe came in 4th place. He gets back 38,700. But in the lead right now is Han with 373,000. Chris is in 2nd place with 243, and Stan is in 3rd with 56,000.
I raise.
Dan is on the very short stack. He's going to have to start playing now. You know, to overcome one of these guys, he's got to get in there and gamble some.
Look at this. Chris is raising with a pair of aces, a big pair of aces.
Well, Chris is not gambling. He's playing with 2 aces. And Han Lee folds. Han Lee's not going to give him any action.
No. Plus,
look at Han Lee laughing. He turned up the 2 aces. Look,
Chris showing his hand.
They're both laughing because we're not going to get involved with you. All you do is play the nuts.
I got mucked ace king.
I mucked an ace king, Han Lee says. We know better, but the audience doesn't. Okay, Chris is on the button with an ace high, and he folds the hand on the button in a three-handed game.
All you can eat.
Now, ironically, here comes Stan with the same hand Chris folded, and he moves in with his ace-deuce.
Right.
And now Han Lee, who's holding that 8-10 again.
Don't tell him to call.
Look at him laughing. He knows he's been lucky tonight. He's a happy guy.
Now, he knows the 10 high is not the best hand. He's just gambling if he calls here. But he's been running good, and he wants to gamble. You can sense it. He's not going to do it, though. He throws his hand away. Well, Vince, I can tell you, if these guys don't start shooting some bullets, he's going to gun them both down quickly.
Well, there, you know, Stan is now starting to change gears. He's going to be the big fish, push everybody else around.
26.
Did a nice job there.
Here's Han Lee raising on the button with Jack-10 offsuit. Chris quickly folds.
I haven't looked up. I have a feeling you're going to double me up this year. I haven't had that feeling till now, but I have that feeling this hand.
You're right.
Well, he's gaining some confidence.
Oh, he squeezes off an ace the first card. That's a nice feeling.
Let me see how much I could raise him if I'm right. So if I call that, I could raise. You might lay it down for 40 dimes more, right? 30. 39. I can raise him 39 dimes. He's got 26 invested. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to raise all my chips. Move in.
Stan's moving all in, all in.
You moving?
All you can eat.
He's doing it. He's going all in.
He's pushing it all in.
All in.
Stan thinks he has the best hand. He's putting them all in there. He's tired of Han Lee just mowing down the game.
He's on Han Lee now.
Now, Han Lee smiles with us, but he's not smiling much because it's going to cost him another $40,000 to call.
I call you.
He calls. Well, it's pretty evident why they call him the Kamikaze Kid. He goes for the gusto all the time.
Stan has a...
This is ace-9 versus Jack-10 offsuit. Han Lee is going to try to outdraw Stan Goldstein to knock him out of this tournament. And he's done it so far. Look.
Oh, no.
A jack comes on the flop. Even Stan goes into a wry grin. He said, I told you I'm going to call you if you raise me. 5 comes on. Stan's got to have an ace. He doesn't get it. He throws his arms up.
Stan, deeply dejected, shakes hands.
But I asked you. You move. You say yes. I call.
But there's nothing Stan can do about that hand. He played the hand perfectly. He just got unlucky.
Guys.
Thank you.
It's just Han Lee's day, it looks like. He has a commanding chip lead now, playing heads up.
Well, he's finished third, $61,270 for third place. And you know what? For a guy that never picked up too many hands, that's pretty darn good. Well, Han Lee pumped up like a Viagra user, all excited.
Hey, you are bad. Look at Chris. Now, he's high-fiving him, too, because he moves up $61,000 in real money with a chance to capture this title and win an extra $125,000 more, plus that prestigious seat in the World Poker Tour Final Championship event.
They're going heads up. Stay tuned.
Well, I wonder what Stan's thinking right now.
You played with a lot of the great players. Is this one of the toughest bunches?
No. No, I'd like to play with these guys every day for the rest of my life. I've played with much tougher. I think Han Lee will probably beat Chris. I think he's going to be a little too aggressive for Chris to overcome.
We're at the World Poker Tour Legends of Poker at the famous Bicycle Casino in Bell Gardens, California with Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten. We're watching the final. It's amazing. Well, there's not a lot of sports that show the cash on the table before the final. So this is very, very exciting to actually see the real green stuff. Only in America.
Hey, Chris, we got
Big cash is on the table. Over $250,000.
In addition, Vince, the winner gets a $25,000 entry into the championship event of the World Poker Tour. That tournament could pay well over $1 million to the winner also. So you could have a nice little parlay here if you win this. Well, Vince, we're down to the final two. All the money is on the table now. One of these guys are going to become the legend of poker, the new champion. Your man, Han Lee, started out in 4th chip position today. You picked him off the rail, off the vine somehow to win because you like the way he came into the arena. Well, he certainly performed well so far.
20,000, Chris
Chris is
says.
raising this up. Maybe he's going to change gears here.
Well, Vince, we both feel like he's got to change his style if he wants to win this tournament. He's got to become more aggressive.
Well, that just worked because Han Lee just threw away his hand. I think what the people have to know out there is that in tournament conditions, heads up, you almost have to raise on anything. This is just a psychological battle between two players of who doesn't have the worst hand. And it's just picking up different clues, and it's a very different game at this point.
It sure is. I can remember a legend of poker, Jack Strauss, when he played heads up, which was his favorite pastime, was playing heads up poker. He raised literally virtually every single pot.
First to act on
Well,
the
at this
button.
point, Han Lee has 425,000 in chips, and Chris has about 250,000 in chips.
20,000.
Raise 20,000.
He makes it 20.
Okay, Han Lee's on the button, and he comes in with a raise.
I call.
And Chris calls him with king high. Chris has called him with king high.
This is a new Chris because he has king deuce offsuit.
Both players in for 26,000.
He's called him with king deuce offsuit, and he's out of position. So let's see what happens now.
The flop comes
Now here comes the flop, ace queen 10.
Nice for Han Lee,
Well,
catching
Han
that
Lee's
ace.
flopped 2 aces. Chris, on the other hand, has flopped a belly buster straight draw.
He's
He
got
needs
that inside straight draw. One could he's that jack to make a big
Han Lee
hand.
says call.
But Chris is doing the betting.
Chris bet 20,000 on the flop. He led into this pot. Han Lee called him. Quickly called him, too.
Turn card brings a 5.
Not a
A
jack.
5 came off on the turn.
Look at Chris not hesitating, just betting away.
40,000. Now look at Han Lee.
I call.
Han Lee calls him.
Quick call. What is Chris doing here?
Another 5.
Doesn't catch.
And the board pairs 5s.
Look at him. He's still going to go for the
This
bluff.
is actually a good card for Han Lee.
I call.
Call.
And Han Lee calls him.
We've got a king deuce for king high from Chris. Han Lee has an ace.
And Han Lee sort of
Ace is up.
laughs.
Han Lee
Yeah,
wins
give me
this
that
fight.
pirate laugh.
Like he knew it. Han Lee never hesitated. He called him all the way
No.
down easy as pie. Now even Chris is laughing here.
Chris, very good natured for a guy that just lost a lot of money.
If you want to win in this game, you need confidence in yourself. Chris Karagoulian wants to win, and he's got confidence to burn.
I'm gonna win this. 100%, I think. I'll win it today. I'm one of the best in the game. I can be aggressive anytime I want. I can be tight and see the situation, depend on the situation.
Sure of his ability, Chris can still put the game in perspective.
To me, it's fun. Just play and have fun and try to control yourself. When I was young, I liked to gamble. I used to lose in 10, 15 minutes, $30,000, $40,000. I know, I mean, what, if I get mad, they're not cry, they're not going to give me my money back. Just program myself that it's over, it's gone, forget it. You can do whatever you want. As long as you know, just stop when you need to stop. It's in everything, not only in gambling.
Chris Karagoulian respects his opponents, but he knows he's good. And he's confident.
If you play good, you gotta win.
Well, this reminds me of the greatest no-limit player of all time, Stu Unger. He once told me, he says, Mike, he says, anybody can fire 1 shell into the pot. He said, but you got to have 2 greatness to fire 2 shells. Now, what that meant was, if you're bluffing at a pot, you'll bet into it once, but if a guy calls you, most people won't bet into it the second time.
Right, they're too scared, they're nervous.
Now, here's a case where Chris not only bet it once and twice, he bet the trifecta. He did it 3 times, Vince.
Right, but maybe the one mistake he didn't do was, did he bet enough at the end? If he bet enough, he makes a $100,000 bet, maybe he loses Han Lee.
That's a good point, Vince. In other words, what happened was there was 212,000 in the pot. He bet 40,000. Well, Han Lee's getting over 5 to 1 on his money, so certainly called 40,000. Especially the board paired 5s. That helped his hand.
Call.
Chris is a new Chris. He's wild. He's crazy. He just raised again.
Boy, oh boy. What did he smoke on the brick?
I don't know, but Hanli's calling it.
Here we go. Hanli's back in the pot with him.
Hanli with a queen 9 of diamonds. Suited, not a bad hand.
The flop comes ace 8-3. 3 different suits.
Chris is in front with the king high over the queen high.
Chris says I'm all in.
Look at this.
Let's game over.
Chris is crazy. He's going all in with nothing with the king high.
Well, Hanli can't call him. He's only got queen high.
Chris is betting all in. Hanli has time.
He's staring him down. Look at this. He's thinking about calling with the queen high.
See, this is what great poker is all about, though. People don't realize you have to bet with nothing when you're in this kind of...
There's no way.
He's got about 90,000 in
Look at Hanli. He's laughing.
He's got that pirate laugh again.
It's almost like he's thinking about calling this with the queen high. Like he thinks the queen might be the best hand. It's not far from the worst hand. He's pretty close. I'll say that for him. He throws his hand away.
Throws it away.
He showed him the king 4.
Come on,
King
Chris.
Come on. With king 4.
Look at the
Look at
laugh,
this.
the joy of poker.
Oh, I'm chicken dough, man.
Think about Chris. He looks good. You don't see many poker players playing in a coat and tie. There's a saying amongst the pros that if you have a tie in your game, it's a good game. Well, there's a tie in this game, and I don't know how good it is. It is good. I'd like to be in it, wouldn't you?
We're down to the last 2 players at the Bicycle Casino's Legends of Poker. Only one of these players will win the $258,000 first prize and a $25,000 seat at the World Poker Tour Championship event. Let's get back to the action.
Well, whatever happens, Vince, you got to give Chris credit. He has changed his tactics. I'll tell you one thing. He's put his sail the other direction, and he's going downwind.
Well, he's opened up his game 100%. He's a bluffer now. Loosey goose. And here we go again.
Hanli folds.
And Hanli folds and gives up the pot. Maybe Hanli's going to the other gear. He may change his sails.
That's right. Well, it goes to show you, a totally different game with 2 players. Tournament conditions.
Now look at Hanli. He was laughing and giggling. Now it looks like he's got a little more serious look in his eye.
To most, poker is a game of calm reflection, a battle best won by separating the emotion from the decision. Now remember, I did say most.
A lot of people call me Kamikaze. Kamikaze, my nickname like this right now. And then I think, wow, you know.
Hanli plays his cards with his heart.
I call you.
He pushes the limit at every opportunity.
Wild, reckless style. The man has no issue with putting all the chips in very, very quickly.
Hanli is this guy you'd never know.
It may seem a crazy way to play cards, but it's usually the other guy who ends up talking to himself.
One of those stacks is mine right now.
No half, Will.
They say life is a gamble. If that's true, then Hanli is living life to the fullest and